Welcome to Conversations with Zaki Baruti, with your host Zaki Baruti, and like always, we're gonna have a great show this evening. Also, like always, I want to give a shout out to my biological family. What's going on to the Universal African Peoples Organization family, what's happening, and to the New Life Evangelistic Center family headed by Reverend Rice. Keep up the great work. And also a shout out to my cameraman Bob. On that note, this evening's show is going to, as I had made mention, is going to be exciting. I'm in the studio with a very beautiful and intelligent young lady who I've known for a number of years, and that is Miss Creola Davis. Welcome to Conversations with Zaki Baruti.
Thank you.
Okay then, so how you been?
I've been fine.
You've been fine?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this show. I'm looking forward to this show on a number of levels. Number one, you are a former student of mine.
Yes, I am.
And from which institution?
Well, I was in your civics class at Rock Junior High School.
At Rock Junior High School.
Rock Junior High.
Located in?
East St. Louis.
All right. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. So, a blast from the past.
That's right.
And I'm just so honored that you are here in studio with me, because I'm just proud that you have went on from being a great junior high school student to where you at this point in life, and working to make a difference in our community, as well as you have become a literary
yes,
agent, or shall I say writer, and you have written a book that's entitled To Hell and Back. Wow, boy, to hell and back. Man, I know that got to be a rough one.
Oh, yeah, so, it's rough. It's rough.
But before we do this, go into the book, which we'll be discussing, and also the importance of reading, I want you to share with our thousands and thousands of listeners, who is Creola Davis? I met you as Creola Ford.
That's right. I was Creola Ford then at Rock.
All right.
I went on to get married. Like Zaki said, I was a student. He was my civics teacher at Rock Junior High. I went on to attend East St. Louis Senior High School, which I'm so proud of. And I think anybody that comes from East St. Louis should always have that thought and that feeling about the city, because it is a wonderful place to come from. So I went to East St. Louis Senior High School. After high school, I went on to college. I received a bachelor's degree from Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. And then I went on to get my master's from Lindenwood University. After that, before that, I became a mother. I have 3 daughters. I have a set of twins. They're 35 years old. One of them is an HR specialist in D.C. for the Department of Commerce, and the other one is an RN. I also have a 29-year-old daughter who's in school working on her RN degree as well. And I'm a mother and a grandmother of 9 grandchildren.
Wow, 9 grandchildren.
That's what I said, 9.
Wow. Before I get into the interview, I'd be really remiss. Back in the day, I used to, as an educator, when a year is over, I don't know if it was with your class, but some classes I have the students grade me. As an educator, and they didn't have to put their name on there in case they were failing. How they can talk about me whatever way they wanted to do. They had that opportunity.
Do a survey on you,
right? So, from your perspective, because I've written a couple of booklets on education myself. In terms of some of the situations I viewed as an educator that I thought was shameful in the school system. At some points, but. What kind of grade would I have gotten?
And I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting in front of you.
Right.
But I would give you a definite A.
Oh,
because you cared about your students.
Right.
You were one of, and it wasn't just you. It was like Ms. LeCompte.
Right.
You cared about our welfare and our well-being, and you wanted us to be successful in life. So I would definitely give you an A.
Oh, thank you.
Because you gave me an A too.
Well, you was a good student too. I guess that was evident by you able to advance academically, and those are important aspects of developing people who want, to make a difference in the community in terms of educators. Because I can recall my own personal education. I had some great teachers, in East St. Louis, and here I am, and here you are. So with that said, going to your book.
Yeah, talk about it.
To hell and back. Wow. First of all, what motivated you to want to, write?
Well, in my life, people say I'm funny. They say I'm creative. And I have some really wild stories. And so people say, wow, Creola, you should write a book. So I was like, well, okay. And I wrote a book. And I was able to get it published. And I was able to get it sold really well. It came out in 2012 and it sold really well. And I talked to people about maybe doing a movie. So I tried to get it out there in different arenas. But that was my purpose, and that was what got me motivated to write the book.
Oh, so encouragement from some of your friends, and in terms of
based off of what they saw in me that I didn't see in myself.
And you sharing wild stories with them, huh?
Yeah, they were wild. I mean, if you read the book. If you read to hell and back.
And that's what, if you read the book, and let me tell you, I read the book, and I was in a state of shock from my student Creola. I said, because it was and I would call it an exotic crime thriller, mystery,
that would be a good way to describe it. Exotic crime, mystery thriller.
Right. So that's how you have to project that, and so, in doing a process like this, because I'm probably are other aspiring writers, and I always try to encourage people to write,
right.
Of course. But is it easy or is it time kind of consuming to put together a novel? And this novel is approximately how many pages?
I think 141, 142.
Yeah, 141.
Okay.
So you got to create 141 pages of thought to make this happen.
Right.
And then you have to create a cover, and however you want to project it.
Yeah.
What kind of time frame did that take for you to make this happen like that?
Unbelievably, it was only around 9 months for me to get that book from beginning to end.
Wow.
So that was really short, I think, because it was my first book and I've never done it, and I was able to get it done in 9 months. So.
Okay, then. On that note, we'll have to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
I want to thank God for each and every one of you that are supporting NLEC TV, the work of the New Life Evangelistic Center, and making it all possible so we can have conversations with Zaki on the air along with the other programming that's on NLEC TV. Not only we discover that at 24.2, but I actually watch it on my cell phone at a very special app that we have of NLEC TV, and you can just pull it up. It's so easy that everybody can watch it anywhere. So wherever I travel, I can be watching this program and other programs. Now, all this is possible only because of caring people like you that are sharing those much-needed tax-deductible gifts at this time with the New Life Evangelistic Center. We have a lot of things that are unfolding at this moment. We're continuing to help multitudes of people, not only throughout Mid-America, but as far away as India and Africa and other locations around the world. And we really do need your help. After they closed down 1411 Locust, we're continuing to help the homeless directly out on the streets every week. We're out in the mayor's window distributing bus tickets and other direct supplies. We have regular events out in front of 1411 Locust, and we're working actually through the legal, the mediation, the advocacy, and getting prayer warriors to pray that we can reopen 1411 Locust in the near future. But we need your involvement at this particular moment. And your gifts to the New Life Evangelistic Center make such a big difference. You can send that to P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166, or you can give online through the PayPal system at newlifeevangelisticcenter.org or NLEC STL. I ask you to continue to stand with us right now as we continue to bring many programs like Conversation with Zaki to you, but we need your help.
If you can't receive NLEC TV on channel 24.2 on your TV, you can watch us on your home computer or laptop, anywhere in the world. Simply type in NLEC TV, then select NLEC TV support and click on the small NLEC TV on the right of the menu bar. Click on the play indicator to start the live programming. The the same programming as 24.2. You can then enlarge the picture and enjoy your favorite programs like the NLEC Worship with Larry Rice, The Bernie Hayes Show, Experience the Benefits of Change with Pastor Burris, Conversations with Zaki Baruti, News and Views, and so much more.
Can you hear the music of creation?
NLEC TV is also available on all mobile devices such as smartphones and iPads. By getting the NLEC TV app, you can enjoy NLEC TV anywhere you go.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zaki Baruti. In studio is a former student of mine who was an A plus student.
Yeah.
One of my favorite students, Miss Creola, at that time, Ford,
Right.
and now Davis. And she was my student at Rock Junior High School, where I was a junior high school teacher, and she was in my 9th grade civics class. And early on, if you missed it, she gave me an A also. I hope an A plus.
A plus.
Right, as an educator. But, and out of her growth educationally, having a master's degree now, right?
Correct.
She also was motivated to write an exotic
Exotic thriller.
Right, mystery story book, and it is entitled To Hell and Back. So, before I get into it now, I want to digress. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll go forward. Prior off air, are you on another? Is this gonna be your only book that you're gonna write, or are you?
No, I'm currently working on my second book, and I'm also going to do a sequel to this book.
Oh, you're gonna do a sequel to
because
this one?
when they read this one, everybody that's read it that's come back to me to discuss it, they've always said, when are you going to write the sequel? Because if you read the ending, it'll tell you why there needs to be a sequel.
Okay, but you're writing, you're working on another project.
Right, I'm working on another book right now.
A totally different one.
Right, correct.
And when are you hoping to have that completed?
Probably this summer.
Oh, okay.
Probably July, August.
Do you have a title to it?
It's called Extreme.
Extreme. Wow. Extreme. But anyway, look here. Now going to the book. That's
that's what you've been waiting for. Going to the book.
Yeah, because like I said, when you had given it to me to read and what have you, and we also promoted it at a place of establishment which is called Miboso, located at the Grand Slam Marketplace at corner of Chambers and 367.
And what's the name of it again?
The overall flea market is Grand Slam Marketplace. And it's where you have a whole collage of different Black-owned businesses and other businesses selling their different wares. And, of course, we peddle education, books, and, other material, like history material. So to that end, going to the book, if we can, talk about the book. Okay then. So we'll set up the scenario for our people in terms of where it's taking place at, who are the characters and what have you.
The main character in the book, her name is Angel. The story Angel.
Okay.
The story takes place here in St. Louis.
Okay.
I chose St. Louis because I wanted people from St. Louis to be able to relate to the story, and that's how. And one person bought the book because it had St. Louis in it, so that worked really well. But it takes place in St. Louis. Some of the street names I didn't get right because I'm not from this area. As far as St. Louis is concerned, I was really never over here, but I knew some of the street names. So I did it in St. Louis. Angel was a young, naive girl who made some bad decisions.
By how old is she?
She was 17 when it started. She was in high school, and she made some bad decisions, which the bad decisions were based on her not having a father. Her father supposedly was deceased, so she didn't have that male figure in her life.
Which exists a lot of times in our reality.
Exactly,
All right, go ahead.
So what happened is he was able to take advantage of her naivete, being an older man, And
Wait a minute, who?
The older guy.
We were on Angel.
Right.
Then you flip, okay, to
the guy, the older guy that took advantage of her.
Another figure.
Another character. His name is Kevin.
Okay.
So Kevin was a record producer, and he would come up to the high schools and pick out different girls that he wanted to meet, and he met Angel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was the beginning of her demise when she became involved with Kevin.
Wow, you know, my mind went to, they had been doing a piece on
R. Kelly.
Yeah, you just took me back to, you know, that kind of, but that's not based on, that's something totally separate in terms of your concept.
I don't think R. Kelly, we knew about this yet with R. Kelly.
In terms of, yeah. So with that said then, so this older character, so the main two characters is the 17-year-old and the older gentleman.
Right.
Okay, all right. Who are some of the subsidiary characters?
Well, there was her mom who, and once you read the book, it'll explain to her, but her mom was never honest with her. And because of that lack of honesty, I think that was a problem for Angel as well. There's her best friend who betrayed her. There's also...
Her best friend betrayed her.
Her best friend betrayed her. And then there were other characters as well that helped her along the way. And then there's the Superman character, which is the serial killer. Because this book is about a serial killer.
Oh, it's about a serial killer.
It's about a serial
but
killer.
But focus on the 17-year-old.
Right.
But the base, okay.
Yeah, so it's all twists and turns, and it's like it all comes together at the end. It's like, because if you read it, you're like, well, what is she talking about? But then as you go further into the story, then it all comes together. And then it's like, oh, now I get it.
Right, right. So within the character of Angel, what were some of the things that occurred to her within the book that, you know, took her from being... She was on one positive level at one point, right?
Exactly.
And
well,
then,
what happened is she was working on her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Her and Kevin they were living together.
And that's the older gentleman.
Right, the older gentleman. So they were in a relationship. She found out she was pregnant. She rushed home to tell him she was pregnant. When she got home, she found him in bed with her best friend.
Oh, wow.
Her and her mom were together. So
okay, all right.
She...
Wait a minute, but we'll hold on there. Okay. Sometimes you hear about that stuff. But yeah, on that note, we'll take another break.
It's the gifts of caring people like you that help keep the Zaki Baruti Show on the air, dealing with hard issues that we must begin to recognize in our community, issues that are frequently ignored by much of the existing media. And St. Louis and the St. Louis area is a community that's famous for its Jim Crow policies of keeping the people down by elevating the rich and the powerful. I want to encourage you to get a copy of the book Through the Fire as you share your gift of $10 or more to help keep Zaki's program on the air and directly help the hurting and the homeless. This book goes into great detail of how the bigotry and the self-centeredness of the rich and powerful it was implemented through the politicians to drive the homeless out of the area by shutting down the Work of New Life Evangelistic Center. But the work isn't shut down. It's moving forth in many other different locations. It's moved out on the streets among the people, and it's working to get back into 1411 Locust, all of which is made possible through the prayers and gifts of caring individuals like you. And that's why your gift is so very important at this time. And as you share that gift with New Life Evangelistic Center of $10 or more at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri 63166, be sure you request your copy of Through the Fire. Yes, God is moving in a mighty way. New Life Evangelistic Center has not given up in spite of all the persecution. It's given it to God, and we're seeing Him now do exceedingly abundantly beyond what we can even ask or think. I ask you to continue to pray for us at the New Life Evangelistic Center as we're working to continue to bring you community programming like the Zaki Baruti Show and are out on the streets among the homeless, working among the homeless, distributing bus tickets every week and emergency supplies for them, opening up safe houses for the homeless, women and children, expanding training programs for the homeless. All of it is possible because of each one of you that is sharing that much-needed gift now with New Life Evangelistic Center. So when you send your gift of $10 or more, please request a copy of Through the Fire. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166.
Hear this, you who trample the needy and do away with the poor of the land. Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream. You trample on the poor and force him to give you grain. Therefore, though you have built stone mansions, you will not live in them. Though you have planted lush vineyards, you will not drink their wine. For I know how many are your offenses and how great your sins. You oppress the righteous and take bribes, and you deprive the poor of justice in the courts.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zaki Baruti, and in the studio with me is my former student and creative writer of a book that's called To Hell and Back. Man, and to experience hell, boy, in terms of how we get a picture of hell, is,
well, look at the cover.
Yeah,
She's burning up.
Yeah. But you know what? If I may share a real quick personal story, I never forget. At one time I used to engage in a lot of rum, and I had overdone it. And I said, Lord, if this is hell, I want no part of hell.
I don't blame you.
So anyway, within the context of the story, so we got a serial killer. We got a young lady who's, going through a lot of different changes.
Exactly. That's how you can put it.
In terms of reality of life. And that occurs quite often out here in...
That's where I got my thought process from, based off of real life experiences that people have and the decisions that they make, what the outcome could possibly be and how it affects their life.
Okay. And my mind went to one of the things when I put the original title, Exotic. Those exotic thoughts came from within the book. And those who like exotic.
It's exotic. It's exotic.
Yeah.
It wasn't exotic enough, but one of my girlfriends.
Enough.
Right. Listen. One of my girlfriends, she read it before I had it published, and she was like, Creola, she's a prostitute and she's speaking like that. She's like, she doesn't say the F word. She doesn't say,
okay.
You need to make it more realistic. So I had to go back in and I had to change some things so it'll be more realistic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. So you had a couple of proofreaders.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure it was believable.
Uh-huh. Okay then. And
because most of the people that read it, they think it's me telling my story.
Yeah,
But it's not my story.
Yeah, everybody.
Listen, it's not my story.
But when I read it,
yeah, I know. Now you know. You should say, no, that's not Creola. It's not my story.
All right. So, what would you say to those who may aspire, who have stories that they could tell? What would be your recommendation to them?
Do it.
To do it.
Just do it. I mean, what's the point of having this and you don't do anything with it and then you complain? It's like, man, I should have done it and I should have did this. Just do it.
Okay. Y'all hear that? Those of you who got sitting on real heavy info in your brain and you need to translate that into something positive, do it. Just do it. I appreciate that. Now, if anybody was interested, and we just did a little tidbits of the story. I mean, as her former teacher, I would give her an A on the book.
Thank you.
And at some point in time, preferably you can get a screenplay on it.
That would be so nice.
And and those are the things too that we have to become creative as a people, and maybe you can even do it through independent filmmaking. And connect with some people who might want to do it. And
that would be a possibility. That would be something I would really love to do.
Right. So. And so you can be who has been some of your favorite playwrights or authors in the past? Who would you stand out for?
Sister Soldier.
Sister Soldier.
I love her. When I read The Coldest Winter Ever, she had me hooked right there. Yeah,
that was a great book. I got an opportunity to interview her when we had a radio program.
Oh, wow.
And we did a little special reception for her. Yeah, that was an excellent book. Why is it important? Now, you're an author. To the audience, why is it important to read?
It gives you an opportunity to learn stuff. And it's like, if you don't read, and especially factual books. Now, my book is mystery, so it's a thriller. It's not fiction. It's fiction. But it's important for you to broaden your mind. And a lot of times when you read those type of books, it takes you away from your real life problems. Mm-hmm. And then you have an opportunity to think about something else and get away from everything for a minute. And that's why I wrote it. And that's why a lot of people that read it, they tell me that they really enjoy it. And it seems so realistic because it's like, now I'm looking at somebody else's problems.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break and a final break.
It's cold outside. People are hurting. The city of St. Louis is not taking care of the homeless that were in the New Life Evangelistic Center before they shut the place down. But we're out here on the streets doing it because that's what Jesus told us to do.
What brings me out here today is I come to get me a blanket and some food, survive trying to get out the cold.
Are you homeless right now?
I'm homeless.
Had you ever stayed at Reverend Rice's before the city?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah.
How do you think things have changed, or how has it affected the people not having that opening?
It affects the people very deeply because it's cold out here, and on winter nights like this, when it's cold, you can always check into Larry Rice. And I think, I think it's a shame that they closed them down because if you didn't have nowhere else to go, your people wouldn't even put you up. You could always take it to Larry Rice, always within 4 o'clock in the morning, and get up, get 3-4 hours worth of sleep, get up, get you a lunch, fruits or whatever to carry with you. But I think it's a shame that they shut down Larry Rice, man.
Your prayers are absolutely essential, and your tax-deductible gifts. Please send them now. Help Save New Life, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri.
2 Timothy 1, verse 10.
But it has now been revealed through the appearing of our Savior, Jesus Christ, who has destroyed death and has brought life and immortality to light through the gospel.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zaki Baruti. It's been a real fast half hour, but and I'm in the studio with Creola Davis, who former student of mine and an author, To Hell and Back. If anybody wanted to get in contact with you about the book, is it available? How can people have access to it?
Well, if you go to any bookstore online, you can order the book. So you don't have to pick a certain. You can go to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, or any other bookstore, and you can order it that way. Okay, then. And I know we only got about a minute. Also, I understand you're getting ready to transition into healthcare industry. Yep. Is that correct? I started my own recruiting agency, and the name of it is Angelic Healthcare Staffing. And what it does is allow it like contracts different healthcare professionals to work for different companies. Without actually being on their payroll, they will be on my payroll, but we put them in positions to work. And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm getting everything in place with that. So if, are you looking for people to help you in this process right now? Or what I'm doing, and I think you have the website, anybody that's interested. And what is the website? It's www.angelicstaffing.com. Okay. And how can they also, so they can get with you on that end? Right. Is that a phone number to call or anything? Yes, the number is 314-755-9991. And when I say healthcare professionals, it's RNs, LPNs, CNAs, doctors, respiratory therapists, anybody in the medical field that may want an opportunity to work for a company without going through the actual getting hired on with the company and being stuck in that 40-hour-a-week job. So if they want to just be a contractor, this would be an excellent opportunity for them. So on that note, we're winding down. Creola, thank you for spending some time with me with Conversations with Zaki Baruti. Again, I just want to push two things as we get ready to close out. Her book, To Hell and Back. There's you can go to any online book right, go to any sites to get it. As well as she is going into the healthcare business and starting a recruiting agency. And if you're interested, those out in the audience, then, reach out to her. On that note, this has been, again, a great show. Looking forward to your new book coming out, and we'll have you back on again. All right. So on that note, may God bless each and every one of you who's listening. Stay strong, get involved.
joining a progressive organization that speaks truth to power. On that note, again, God bless each and every one of you.